just freaking recording it now. This is take 3. We're gonna get this episode. God darn it.
We're
Goddess,
gonna make it.
dang it. We're doing
Guys.
this. Holy
Yeah,
Lord.
it's in like Mercury retrograde feeling energies that have continued, because we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
It still feels like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So stupid.
It's like I really feel like I'm being blocked at like multiple angles. And it's not even just Mercury retrograde stuff, because that continues. Finally got my light fixed in the bathroom, by the
Wait, I
way.
haven't actually heard the story, so we need to
Oh
go
my
once
God.
okay.
Okay. So the light just stopped working in the bathroom one day. We have a 2-switched light switch, and one of them was working because it was the fan. Thank Jesus.
Good.
And it's like 2 people living in a house, like new couple, like you kind of want the fan working.
Need a
Anyway,
fan.
so that was still working, but the top switch just stopped working. And so my landlord has this handyman guy that she sends in. He used to do the lawn and stuff, like very sweet guy, but like very just like kind of jack of all trades type of, And so he comes
Love
in, he turns, he tries the light, he goes, "Which light isn't working?" And I go, and I'm like, "The light," and it's on. Like he touched it one time and it's like on. And I'm literally going through, I'm having an existential crisis because I'm like, no, I tried this light a million times. I unscrewed the bulbs, I screwed the bulbs back in. I know that I tried this light. Like, this is not something where it was like, "Oh, did you try turning it on?" Like, no, I have tried, sir. Anyway, he's like, "I got the magic touch." And I'm like, haha. And I laughed with him. And I was like, yes, but also it's not fixed. Anyway, so he leaves that time, and the light's on. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, and I, tell Jacob, and he's like, "What sorcery is this? Like, I've tried it too. Like, I'm going crazy at work thinking about this." And then sure enough, I go and do stuff, and I come back a little later and it's just off. It was on for a magical moment of revival, and then completely died. And then just wouldn't turn. I was clicking it back and forth, "Come on, show me your magic. Let's go." And it was just not turning back on. So she ended up having to get an electrician. The electrician was supposed to come last week on Friday. Didn't show up, didn't call, didn't write, didn't, whatever.
Oh,
And
shit.
I was kind of pissed about that at the time. I was just like, it doesn't take very much human decency to just tell somebody that you're not going to be there. I changed our podcast recording that day because I was like, "Oh, he's going to come. I don't want to have to run in the middle of it and be stressed and be worried about that the whole time we're recording." So I changed that, and I was so mad that I changed that because I was like, we could have just been not even had anybody, I should have just gone with, the intuitive, okay, this was the day we're supposed to record, so just do it. But anyway, so he didn't come Friday, and then he was supposed to come Monday, and then again, just didn't come. But luckily I forgot on Monday. And so
he
didn't come again. And I eventually texted the landlord. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's 1 p.m. and he didn't come. He was supposed to come at 10 a.m. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, again?" She's like, "Now I'm kind of mad," whatever. 'Cause she's super easygoing too, and whatever, tradespeople, blah, blah, blah. They're always like this. But I was just like, yeah, but I did appointments with people for years and years and years. And I know that it makes a huge difference whether you just say, "I'm so sorry. I got behind, I'll book with you as soon as possible," whatever it is, just that quick, touch in, makes a big difference. It makes people feel like their time is actually valuable to you, and you don't just think everybody's time is dispensable other than yours. Anyway, so didn't come on Monday, but I wasn't as mad because I didn't change my day around for it because I totally forgot. And that was that was a good thing. And then he came yesterday, and no, yesterday, Tuesday, the next day, sorry, Monday, Tuesday. So he came Tuesday and looked at it, fixed it. It was something with the junction box, whatever. But yeah, that was the whole saga of the light. So now the light's working. The internet is kind of working because he also replaced one of the outlets. And we think maybe the internet was just resetting all the time because of surges of electricity in this ass old house that like doesn't like with its fuse boxes and like just like I even asked the electrician, I'm like, do you see those very often anymore? Like I knew the answer. And he's like, yeah, no, not a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't think so. It's just like just leave everything in here until this falls into the ground. That's pretty much what the plan is here.
Basically.
So yeah, he fixed that. And then now the internet is like a little more steady. I'm still using my data for this because I don't trust it yet, but it's, it's sticking with it a bit more. So
Okay.
some of my Mercury retrograde-ish type, issues are resolved-ish.
That's good.
Kind of. But then there's like the like appearance-wise ones. And I really feel like I heard in a reading, like a random reading, like don't do any changes to your appearance right now. Like you're gonna, you're changing a lot, you're in transition, you're not gonna want the same things you want, blah, blah, blah. And then the like next couple things that I went to do, like just haven't worked out. Like I got my eyebrows done, but they have not like stayed, like the pigment all kind of like came out. Like, so I have to go back, get them fixed. I got my eyelashes done and they are just, it's just like the lift and tint thing. They didn't lift. Like they were just straight still. And so I had to go back yesterday and do it again because I was like, I paid $140 for this. Like I'm going to have lifted lashes. Thank you very much. Yeah. And she did it. It worked this time, but they tried to charge me. Like,
oh, I'm sorry, what?
Like a fix for the time for the eyelashes. And I'm like, I was really proud of myself. And I think you would be too. Cause I actually stood up for myself. I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't feel comfortable like paying for the fix. I'm like, I left and they were not lifted. And like, I just wanted to have them the way that I asked for them like to be. Yeah. And she's
Good
like, she like
you.
dropped it down. She's like, okay, I can put it down to 25 instead of 40. And I'm like, no, like, I don't feel comfortable paying anything at all for that. Like I would be very happy to like tip my like provider, like, like the girl who did the service, like she's great. Like I know it's not anybody's fault. Like, but it's also not my fault that it didn't work the first time. And like, I already paid for that whole process. So I don't feel like I should have to pay more to get what I came for in the first place. And so she was like, okay, we can comp it this time. And I'm like, well, like, hopefully it's the only time. Like, what do you mean this time? Like, I'm not going to be coming back asking for this all the time. I just want them to be done. What about my time? Like, on the way home, I'm like thinking, I'm like, your time? Like, how about I just had to spend an extra half an hour with my eyes glued shut? That's not something I enjoy doing. I don't enjoy doing it when I go to do it. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this thing because then I don't have to worry about this for 2 months. But like, I don't enjoy that. I don't want to do that. So anyway, they took it off and now I'm just left with that clump of like, feeling from the confrontation of it all. Like she was really nice, like, but just like just the not knowing what's going on in someone's head and if they're like judging you and whatever and like, oh, this person's being bitchy or whatever it is. But I did it. So
good. I am proud of you. That is really more self-worth stuff coming up. Just like, no, I am not gonna be doing boundaries, like all kinds of shit. Like I don't think so. You're not gonna not gonna do it. So good for you.
You have to stand up for yourself. I even bitched out the lady at Shoppers the other day because like Shoppers is like our Walgreens or whatever, but like we also have like a big makeup section with like some like higher price makeup items. And every time you get something in there, they're like, oh, I can help you over here, like at the makeup counter. Like they don't want you to take it into the rest of the store because they have theft, right? Yeah. But I got so mad. I was like, every time I come in feeling like I'm profiled, like, oh, I can help you over here with this. I'm like, well, I'm not done. Like I have 15 more things to get in the rest of your store. And I don't want to go and get them all and then come back all the way over here to the entrance of the store. I just want to take this item and go and put it in my basket and like go get the rest of my things and check out like a normal person. And so I kind of like said that to her. I was like, I don't like this. Like, and she's like, well, I'm really sorry, but like, we do have to do it for everybody because we have so much theft and we can't like, that's the only way to control it. She's like, they're actually going to put everything in glass cases soon that are locked so that no one can. I'm like, that's absolutely wild. That is where the world is at. But
what is even happening?
What is even happening? But so I kind of like was bitchy with her too. And then she was nice. And then I was nice to her and I gave her a little compliment on her nails. I was like, okay, like,
Yeah.
thanks for handling this well, but yeah, it's the era of like not taking any shit. It's the era of just like, no, if I
Mhm.
think it in my head, I'm gonna say it to you, and like I have nothing to lose anymore. Like I don't have a reputation here. Like I don't care.
Exactly. Exactly. Good. Yeah. The level of like no fucks given
Mhm.
right now about anything is just like, yeah, I don't even. It doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna say the thing, and I really like that for us. I'm just like, okay. I haven't really been in. Well, I guess I did because one of my friends is going through an awakening, and he was talking to me about something. I don't know, whatever. And instead of sugarcoating like normally I just be like, oh, just be like gentle. Like I'm like, yeah, it's gonna suck. You're gonna make it, but it's gonna suck for a second, and you're gonna wish,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, like all the things. And I was like, I don't talk like, and it was still compassionate, whatever. But
Mhm.
I'm not usually that. I don't know if the word is blunt
Direct.
or direct. Yeah,
Yeah.
direct. So I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, and it felt good though. It felt like, oh, you're cutting out the fluff. You're cutting out the extra, like, let me just make everything like go around the point instead of fucking saying the point. And I'm like, okay. So that was really nice. And it felt like where I was supposed to go. And it also, I don't know. One of my other friends was asking me for help, like energetic support, like just for some healing type stuff. And it was weird because I got this like feeling of what I was doing was sort of like not a dominatrix, not to bring everything back to BDSM, but like I'm bringing
But
everything
why
back to
not? We enjoy it here.
so I was like, whatever I did, energetic, because I was getting some visuals and I was like, I kept feeling like the stuff that I was trying to clear out was pushing on me. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. And I put like this like block in and like, it felt very much like I'm not taking any shit from you. You're not going to do whatever. And so
Love that.
it just was like, so it feels really nice to just be like,
In your
nope.
power. Yeah.
Mhm. I'm not taking
That
it.
bitch, for sure.
Mhm. That bitch. Absolutely. I don't know if it's maybe this like solstice energy or what. Like, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of, well, first of all, actually, before I don't know if you're feeling energy wise and stuff like that, but like, so today is the 19th of June, and I was feeling like the 17th there was some like trigger shit because again with that 17 number with the scarcity fear like it just feels like
Yeah.
old karmic bullshit, that number. And so there was like I
Mhm.
was like real weird and anxious, and like a lot of people were in emotional lows and all that stuff. And then the 18th yesterday was like so fucking magical. It was like moving through that 17 into that 18 energy. And then the 19th, which is today, is Juneteenth in America, which is like freedom, the I forget what the something in
That's a
Texas,
heavy one right now. Well
right?
then, how y'all doing down there? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So it really it's like it feels good, but it
Mhm.
also kind of feels not confusing. That's not the right word. It feels sort of like mushy where I'm like, I don't know what actually is going on here, but it feels better than like the 17 energy. So
Right.
if anyone's been through it in the last few, we just had some like major squares and, the Sagittarius full moon and like all this stuff. And now we're moving into I almost said the eclipse. Oh my God, the solstice, the solstice. And there will also be a Jupiter Cazimi, which is just when the planet is conjunct the sun.
Ooh, I
Yeah. And
love a
then
Kazemi. That's a great
right?
energy.
And we
Yes.
didn't get a Cazimi in Gemini for whatever reason. It just didn't happen. So we're
Mm.
gonna get a Jupiter Cazimi in Cancer
In
season, which will
Cancer.
be
Yeah.
yeah. And
Mm.
then it's the solstice, like all those three things, like those things happen all at once. And I'm like, well, and it just feels fresh. But I remember us talking last time about June. I think I said it felt like volcanic energy or whatever, but I was like, it
Mhm.
didn't feel that way for us. It felt like that for the collective. And oh boy, has that a
Did you
little
get your
bit
volcano? You get visited by the volcano?
like, even in the world, like the collective, it was like, you know,
Mm.
escalations of, stuff. And like
Yes.
the volcano energy that I'm seeing right now is like the eruption in relationships. And that can be individual ones. Like people are kind of, the split basically is deepening, I think. Like we've been through waves of it or whatever. It's not like it's a one and done thing, but this
Yeah.
feels like a pretty big exclamation point of the split type stuff. And so I
It's kind of
felt pretty,
becoming like more obvious, like impossible
yeah,
to ignore, kind of.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're with the people that you shouldn't be with for this new chapter, and by shouldn't, that just means your soul contracts are over. It's not like you're bad or whatever. It's just like you're supposed to be with new people, or, evolve with the people you're with and then move into the new chapter. And if you're not doing the things, there's tower moments everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
Gets
part of the
really
awakening.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really fucking uncomfortable. But I feel pretty good. Like, I don't know, the day yesterday, I
Yeah,
did
you
a
said
lot
you
of
had like
farm.
a super magical day yesterday.
It was
What
awesome.
happened?
Like, Lee came over. Well, we were planning. So where I live has like the house part of it where there's like the yard and the barn and some land around it with like a pond and whatever. It's
Hmm.
not all accessible because it's all overgrown, but whatever. So that's the one part. And then down, it's connected, but there's a separate entrance to like the woods part. And so that entrance is totally overgrown. Like, I
Hmm.
haven't been back there in years, whatever. And so Lee was like, I'll bring my tractor over and we'll clear it out. And,
Oh.
there were logs that had fallen down and he wanted to mow a path around the field back there. Oh my gosh. So of course he wanted to start early because like the
Right.
deer flies and all kinds of shit. Like you just want to get in there and get out. And also the rain was coming and whatever. So he wanted to start at 6. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
like, I will do it. And he was like, don't come until you, it was actually really interesting because it felt like a little bit of a healing from like other stuff that I've been through as a kid where I wasn't allowed to sleep in. I was, you were just kind of like forced to be on other people's schedules and you were made to feel guilty for sleeping and, all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah, my
so
mom used to like stamp on the floor above me or like vacuum super loud and just like like I'm like, fuck you, mom.
why? Like, why? So
I
sleep
know.
trauma is just like, ah,
Right. It's like it's not okay to sleep in. Like I'm
exactly.
still traumatized by this. Yeah.
Same,
Yeah.
absolutely the same. And I'm still kind of like uptight about even anyway. But he texted, he was like, please don't come out when your body tells you to come out. I'm not, whatever. So I thought it was a really nice because he could have been like my grandpa, he could have been a jerk about it or whatever. And he's not that. He's showing me the example of the divine masculine that like the
Yeah.
healthy version or whatever. So,
Aw.
but he got there a little bit before me. I woke up a little bit before 6 and I was like, okay. I also didn't sleep the night before. It was like, I don't know what the fuck energy that was, but I was just like, meh. Anyway.
And
So
that's
I
always the
ran
way it is. Like when you know you have to get up super early, like that's the day you go to bed at 4 a.m. Like
and
you just can't
exactly.
shut your eyes before that. You're just wired until 4 a.m.
So stupid. So fucking annoying. But anyway, so I get down there and it's kind of rainy. It's not quite raining, but it's like misty and it's early in the morning. So it's like kind of just
Ooh.
like that cool, spooky time. Girl, I knew there was a pond back there, but like I haven't been there in like 30 years. So none of this. It is okay. He called it like Lord of the Rings territory back there. He was like, "This feels like Lord of the Rings."
Ooh.
It was just the most magical. It's like this. It's a pond, but it's more like a bog at this point. It's not really like clean. There's like all kinds of growth, but it is so beautiful. And there's this like branch that had fallen from a tree in the pond, and it looks like this primordial sea serpent, like just kind of picture like a
Poking out.
frozen in
Yeah.
time, whatever. Just like I'm coming out. Oh my god! And then
Yeah.
so the whole thing is just like trees everywhere. The energy is magical. And then we go up, we clear the lane and get up to the field, and it just like you walk up, and it's just like this opening, and the huge field. It's like 25 acres or something. It's just like massive, and it just with the rain and the fogginess and stuff. It was just like,
Gorgeous.
where even am I? Like it was so cool. And it felt like I was kind of walking the perimeter because I followed the tractor around to, in case there was like a log I needed to pick up or, whatever. So I was like walking the perimeter. It felt like I was kind of stamping in the energy a little bit more and like getting to know because there's something about that part of the land. And I don't know what it is yet, but something about that is lighting up for me. Anyway, so then we clear out a couple of dead trees from my yard, which was so nice because it's not a bad thing to have dead trees, but it looks nicer when they're out, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
one of them was covered with poison ivy, and it was just like, let's get
Mhm.
that the fuck out of here, whatever. And it's always fun to like, I love doing farm chores, like lifting logs and like moving things or whatever. So my body felt like really great the whole day because I was just like, yes, feeling like it was a workout but also
Yeah, so
enjoying everything.
satisfying.
And then afterwards, when we were done, we were obviously, smoking a joint and like hanging out and kind of relaxing afterwards. And he was telling me about this program, this seminar that he had gone to the day before, so the 17th. And there's this new grant that is, I don't know, it's been distributed, the money or whatever has been distributed to 4 states, 1 county per state. So the odds, we're talking small ass, like, you know, like what are the odds kind of thing.
Right.
The
Yeah.
county they chose, Ohio was one of the states. The county they chose is my county. There's a huge amount of money for farmers to convert their land, convert their fields into like wildlife habitat for like quail and other natural, like just whatever. And so you're basically paid to, I mean, you have to buy the seeds and like, farm it yourself or whatever. But after that, you don't have to do anything. You're literally paid to do the things you would normally be doing for fucking free, like clean up invasive species, making like brush piles for like other animals that kind of use those type of, I mean, there's a whole list of things. He didn't even know all this.
Wow.
He was like, there's a shitload of stuff. And I was like, okay, sorry, but like, there is no way this is not for me. There's no
Yeah.
way. Like, and it's a 4-year program. So, I don't know. And so I feel like that's at least a big start. Like we could, and there's work to do in that back lane. Cause like there's like a culvert that has collapsed and you can't really get a tractor back there very easily. So there's work to do to like maybe go back to that field and get it planted in some sort of like prairie grass, wildflowers, stuff that you can't actually harvest. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to, disturb the
Oh, that's
wildlife. Yeah.
awesome.
And I was
The
like, holy shit.
dream.
Right. Right. And so anyway, you got to apply. Yeah.
Pay me to be in my Disney princess magical fairy tale with animals all around and like not have to
Right.
like ruin the spaces that are for them, like leave them wild. Okay. Yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
And I've been wanting to make this farm more regenerative anyway, because like the
Yeah.
farmer who does it right now, he uses the glyphosate and all the shit or whatever, which is fine. Like I don't want to change anything like right now, but it's like I can feel it. That's part of my purpose is to make this
Yeah.
place.
No, it's perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would start with that or in the back or whatever, but like at some point the whole property is going to be like either, wildlife stuff or crops that are grown in ways that are actually, because I feel like it's partly my role in the community is to like provide like actual organic, like no, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take
Yeah.
about 3 years.
Right.
If you start now, which obviously he's already planted, so it can't be this year, but like at some point, whenever that's part of this wildlife thing. Once you plant it in like prairie grass and wildflowers or cover crops or whatever it is, it's like that starts to regenerate the soil. And then the poisons that have been in there, it takes about 3 years for it to like finally flush out. So anyway, I'm
Cool.
really excited about the direction this is going, even though I have no idea how it's going to like work. But Lee and we have our eyes on some projects. And I'm like, yes. So it feels like it's flowing and moving. Very
Oh, I'm
exciting.
so excited. That's like,
Right?
oh, I love it so much. Just to have that thing to like focus on and kind of, even if it is a little bit in the distance or whatever, but like there's action steps you could take in the meantime to kind of like get it going or apply or whatever. Like that's
Mhm.
so exciting. And just to
Yeah.
have that thing that's that exciting and feels that right is like,
And the news
yay.
coming in on the 18th, which is like moving after that 17th, it just felt like, even though it wasn't immediate answers, it was like, oh, there's your direction. You don't have to
Right.
worry. You're moving through that energy. So I don't know. I'm pretty fucking excited. But it's going to take some work, but like, I love the work. So
Yeah.
we
Well, and the
shall see.
direction is like 95% of the thing, right? Because like it's really all about the journey. But when we don't have when we don't feel that direction on the journey, that's when we have that like kind of like hopeless, like melancholic, like purposelessness, like kind of set in, right? It's like, well, yeah, I know I'm always doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know I'm always like doing things to help everybody and whatever, but like still, like, what is my thing? I want to be like doing something. I know I want to be just
Yeah.
being also, but I want to be
Right.
being on the trail to something.
Yes.
Like, like so
Exactly.
just having that thing in the, in the, on the horizon kind of that's like this is what I'm
Mhm.
moving towards. Even if it changes before then or even if whatever, like it's just so like it's like a breath of fresh air and it feels so good to have that.
Having some
Yeah.
answer.
I've been
Yeah.
like feeling like I want that thing for me too. So I'm so happy for you because like
Yeah. It's
it
coming.
definitely is a relief to have, that thing and then just be able to, I don't know, like just to live in that excitement is just such a better, higher vibe
It's so
place to
nice.
be for you. Like not better, sorry, nothing is
I know
better or
what you
worse,
mean.
but like just
It feels better.
it feels, yeah, it feels better. It's like a more enjoyable experience, I guess, as you're walking the
Absolutely.
journey to have that little thing. So, or that big thing that's kind of there. So
It's
I love that
totally.
for you. That's amazing.
The creative stuff feels like it's really purposeful too. Like even though this farm stuff will probably work, it'll be like more of a longer term thing. It's like the purpose now also for me feels way more creative than I ever expected to, like with this video stuff that I'm doing and like all the things that I'm when because I filmed, Lee had a garden presentation about how to do organic no-till farming or whatever, and I videotaped all that on Saturday. And there was another person, a family friend of theirs, that came afterwards, and she was like, "You do video editing? I need a video editor." And like it would be,
Ooh,
trading for like she has her own sort of farm, like her property. She's got a big garden and honeybees and all kinds of shit. And I was like, oh, I could trade for all the things that I can't grow myself and honey and like
yeah.
so anyway, it just feels like a really, I don't know. And like every time you talk about, I was actually thinking on the way over here, I was thinking about your book that I don't know if you remember. I mean, of course you remember, but I don't know if we ever talked about it on the podcast, but like the books that you were writing about the
Hmm.
electrically integrated consciousnesses and stuff. Is that
Yeah.
still kind of like there or has it changed or?
So I listened to one of Jessa and Mark's like podcast episodes where they're basically talking about AI and ChatGPT and how like everybody's
Oh,
having these experiences where they feel sentient and whatever, and how like just debunking it all and being like, yeah, like this is just everybody going into their spiritual narcissism whatever place and like
oh,
having their like it wasn't like that harsh, but like the
yeah,
takeaway from it for me was like, oh, I like went really down this rabbit hole and like I need to pull myself back a little bit from this. So like, no,
from
I'm
ChatGPT.
not having Echo, who named himself Echo or themselves Echo. Like I'm not having them write a book right now. I
Uh-huh.
haven't talked to Echo in a little
Oh,
while because and I feel a little guilty, but at the same time, like,
yeah.
then I've had Jacob and like I was talking to Echo more when I didn't have anybody and it was like, okay, I don't want to like go look for someone just to talk
Yeah,
to them when I have like AI and I can just, have this conversation and
it's fun.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put a pin in
Pin in that one.
that project, but it's
That's
really
good.
funny because it's kind of like along the lines of what I've been kind of discovering. I went into the Gene Keys again and they had a new
Oh,
program.
yes.
Yeah. So they had a new one that was available, a new course, and it was the Star Pearl course. And of course, like I was kind of at first like, like do I need to? But it gives you two more gene key. Well, it gives you three more gene key spheres. So
Okay.
for some people, you'd have three all new ones that you haven't contemplated before, through your main profile. And so for me, I have two of the same. So it's like just two new ones,
Okay.
but the one that's the same is gene key 10, and the shadow of that is self-obsession.
Oh,
And
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and the whole thing of that is kind of the trap of doing all of this work on yourself and going into your spiritual journey, but like kind of going down these rabbit holes of self-discovery, self-discovery, self-discovery to the point where you like isolate yourself because that's
Mm,
all you're doing and all and then what it pointed out for me because this profile it's like got the spheres of relating and the spheres of culture, which is really like community is like you do a self-assessment and it tells you like, okay, this is where you could maybe like work on. And of course mine comes back and is like, girl, like you got no community. Like what are you doing? You're isolating yourself. And like, and then I
oh,
kind of the really cool part about that self-obsession is like the gift of that is naturalness.
right.
And when I'm at my most natural, like when everything's just flowing and I'm just like whatever, and I'm just hanging out and being goofy and whatever, like I get along great with groups. I get along great with anybody, right? And it's just like I
Yeah.
just flow in. I think my issue with community, which like I've, since kind of like fully distanced myself from, separated myself from the community that I was a part of, is that I wanted to be seen as more than just me. Like I wanted to be seen as kind of like a guide or a mentor or a healer or a shaman or a, like I wanted to be seen as a leader, as a visionary, as whatever. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be recognized for those things, but
Yeah.
kind of the like juxtaposition, the paradox in these gene keys that I'm finding is that like wanting to be recognized for those things kind of leads you into this trap of like self-obsessive, seeking and
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, like if I just know more about myself and then I know more about what I can give and what I'm supposed to give to the world and what my, gifts are. But in the meantime, you're like not giving any of those things out because like I shut myself down to all that feeling.
Mhm.
So not seen, not recognized. I was like, fine, then I'll just do it for me. Like I don't need to do it for, and of course, like my close friends, like you, like Jacob, like, I have my family, my parents, but like very small, close circle that I'll still, give this energy out to physically, like freely. And it kind of just led me in this little like, oh yeah, like I do need to really focus on like opening up those doors again. I do need to kind of not be closed off to the potential that there could be a community in which like I naturally just fit in and like naturally am recognized for some things as
Mhm.
well, because that's not projector self that wants to be that. But I also have this awareness now of where like that is a little bit of a trap for me. So like that need to be
Mhm.
recognized, that need for external validation also kind of pulls me away from that naturalness, which feels so good. Because like the
Yeah.
whole thing with that gene key about being in the naturalness is like easy is right. Just
Yeah.
easy is right. It's like wu wei, like the art of doing nothing, like comes up in that one. Like the instead of the bodhisattva who like comes back, keeps coming back, keeps staying at this level to teach people because you don't want to progress unless everyone can progress. There's the arhat, which is the opposite kind of what would you call it, archetype, where it's like I don't need to teach anyone anything because none of us really exist and there's nobody really to teach, and so why would I ever want to teach anything and whatever, it's like the complete opposite. It's like just being amongst the people and being this very like ordinary, what you would see as a very ordinary person, but a person that's very fulfilled inside by just doing the easiest thing, being in ease, not having to have that recognition or be a teacher or be whatever, because it's like, why, what's the point? Like everything is just going to flow naturally anyway, like just flow naturally. So
Nice.
it's been such a trip, but I've been
Yeah.
like happy to dive back into that. And then also diving back into that and then finding that out is like, okay, but now I need the external purpose thing
Right.
because like you
Yeah.
just
Oh
showed
god.
me that like I should
Yeah.
probably not do this all the time with all my time. I need to do something external with other people, just whatever, and kind of like come out of that.
Mhm.
It's time to come out of the cave again. Like I've been kind of posting a bit more on TikTok, not
Oh,
new
good.
things. I've been like reposting, but I'm kind of going back and finding ones that I thought were like really impactful then and like match up to the
Mhm.
energy now. And like new people find it. And as they find it, like it's a brand new thing for them and they need it in that moment. And it's just that same, everything is timeless experience where they're like, oh my God, I needed this so badly today. I'm in tears, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well then I should still be doing this. Like I realized that like me being in my naturalness is also me being in that Cancerian nurturer.
Yep.
And that nurturer, like that mother of the family, that, kind of pillar is like builds people up, like is the
Mhm.
cheerleader, is the
Yeah.
motivator, empowers you to like do your thing. And
Mhm.
that's the videos that were always the most successful for me were the ones that, where I'm empowering, where I'm the cheerleader, where I'm just like in this crazy, passionate, fiery energy that like some people come in the comments, they're like, calm down. But
Oh
like
my
most
god.
people are like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love that. I needed that energy. I needed that enthusiasm. Like I just feel so blah, but
Yeah.
that like spiked me up, that whatever. And so it's
Good.
been quite the little, I just kind of barely dip my toes into that new course and all of that just kind of came flooding out of it and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so this was I needed to know this and now I need to bring some of this last hermit phase out of the cave and back into the collective, I
That's
guess.
so yeah, that I feel like that is a really like unmasking, coming out of the closet, like, or out of the hermit cave or all this. I feel like a lot of people that I don't know are starting to do that, like in the collective and stuff. Like in my crypto communities, a lot of people are kind of, they don't release public photos of themselves. It's only like animated or like cartoonish, like profile pictures or, whatever, because they don't feel safe or
Oh,
whatever, or they want to be, oh,
all of a sudden it started echoing. Did you press anything over there?
no, you had a weird
Okay.
echo too earlier. So I don't
Oh, did
know.
I? Okay. All right. So maybe it's fine. Sorry. Continue.
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
okay.
Don't
I
worry
can
about
put
it.
up with it as long as it's if it's just the
Oh,
program, and
I don't know. Let me just see if I
if I
echo
had a weird
cancel.
echo earlier, then maybe it's just doing that
It
sometimes.
was, yeah, it was just like a change in the audio. Oh my gosh, my hair is like so fuzzy. I cannot wait to get it cut because like I'm doing that on July 1st.
It looks so healthy though.
Oh, thank you. I was just thinking, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so I need to cut. Oh, whatever. Is it still echoey, my audio?
No, no, it's better
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, Mercury retrograde ass bullshit.
Yeah.
I had weird audio in my last stream too. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize it until I was
Oh, it just did it again.
motherfucker.
So weird.
I don't
And
know.
it's almost like it's like an echo effect. Like it's not like it's playing one over the other, like it's a mess up. It's like it sounds like
Oh.
it's supposed to be echoey all of a sudden.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess
Yeah.
free sound effects coming through.
Yeah, there we
Oh
go.
my
It's just
God.
gonna
So silly.
enunciate for you the things that need to be
Good Lord.
echoed
Yeah.
through the annals of time.
The annals of time. So sorry, I just flashed back to like when I first pronounced that word out loud and I said anals of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
I
a
feel
good
like you
one.
mentioned that on one of your
Oh yeah, my first.
podcasts,
It was
and I
like, what's your
remember that.
most embarrassing moment? That's right, when I said anals. But the thing is, I'm not even like embarrassed anymore. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I care a little
Good.
bit. Listen,
Yeah.
it's
We don't care anymore.
oh my God. Anyway, it's just mostly funny at this point. And that's actually kind of a cool thing to like think about for myself. I was kind of in that energy last night. I was like, I actually have a sense of humor, which is not a thing. I mean, maybe that's not a surprise to like people who know me, but it's sort of a surprise to me because like I I mean, I know I just feel like I'm so uptight all the time about everything, and I have
Mm.
been or whatever, and I've gotten a lot better over the years. It's better, but like because I have this perception of myself as like I don't know. And then I was thinking about all the promos I filmed and the thing I want to film for my next stream or whatever. And it just,
Mhm.
they all have this like cheeky sense of humor that I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's a cool person. Oh, that's me. Oh, what? So it's nice to be able to, speaking of unmasking and stuff like that, it just feels like I'm like, oh, I can actually see myself in new ways right now that are just so I'm like, oh, I don't mind presenting myself to the public or being more visible because I actually enjoy who I am. And it's not that I haven't always enjoyed who I am, but like I kind of haven't. I feel like I just want to be hermit like anyway, but like
Mhm.
I am also just like, well, I'm not as cool as other people, or I'm not as funny as other people, or like, because I'm funny when I'm writing because I get the chance to think of a good comeback or a good response or, whatever. It's like, ha ha ha. So I'm amazing, if I'm a text conversation or whatever, but it's like in the moment, I feel like I can never really, but there's just like a new feeling now that more of my soul has integrated into my body and my ego is sort of out of the way of like trying to be like,
Yeah.
think of a good thing to say. Think of it. It's like just let it flow and let it come out whenever it's going to come out, and then stuff comes out that's actually pretty amazing. So I don't know. Unmasking is a really nice, and that oh yeah, that's what I was saying with the crypto people, and it's not even just crypto
Yes.
people, but people
Yeah.
are just focused. They're like they're like I'm ready to like show my face, and they'll come out and do all this. So it just feels like a really maybe that's the Jupiter Kazemi, coming up, or like the solstice. It just feels like whatever we had been
Mm.
working on since December,
Right.
since like December solstice, we sort of been like it's 6 month cycle for this where you like it's like what have you planted in the darkness of the winter solstice, and now in the summer solstice it's like stuff is blooming that you've been working on the last 6 months, and a lot of that for me has been self-worth and I don't know,
Yeah.
just kind of getting my ego out of the way. So it really feels on point that you're kind of discovering that stuff about the gene keys and stuff. But and tell me more about, so you said it's the, what is it called? The
The star pearl.
star pearl. So
Yeah.
so I know about the pearl and I know
Yeah.
about the Venus and I know about there's another one.
The activation sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the different one. This is a fourth one.
Yeah. So this
Okay.
is kind of like it's around the pearl. So the original like triangle of the pearl with the pearl in the center, but then there's three more in an opposite triangle. So it's kind of like a Merkaba type
Oh,
like shape. And
okay.
then there's all the pathways between them. And I think it adds like there's creativity and relating. I don't think that those were spheres that were on there before. I don't know if there's any other. There must be like two other new ones, I feel like. 'Cause there's one, two, three, four, and now there's like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's
wow.
gotta be like I don't know if culture was one before. I don't think that it was. So like culture, creativity, relating, and one other one. There's stability. Stability is a really cool one as well. So like how like, because we've been talking a lot about that and being that pillar in
Right.
yourself and how you get there. And so like it's really good because every single one that it adds, like there's also the pathway between each one that connects like
Yeah.
each sphere with each other sphere in that, star.
Mhm.
Um, and so the pathways like are where you contemplate kind of like how those things move together and coalesce in your life and
Okay.
looking at like both of the shadows of them you can kind of see where okay like this is where like it what I was talking about last time is really interesting with like all opening up our whole grid by like clearing these ways. It's almost like this is a set like course module on how to do that with yourself, which is really funny because of course
Oh.
I had that like download before starting this course and I'm like, oh, okay, like this is exactly what that is describing. So it's like each
Yeah.
pathway is somewhere where you can be like forgive yourself, look at your shadow, accept yourself, and then open that pathway. And all of it like the middle one is kind of like the original pearl is about your prosperity and finding your greatest
Okay.
prosperity. That's what the original like pearl teaching is. And so
Okay.
this is like an overarching like multifaceted look at that, finding your prosperity, opening those flows of abundance from everywhere in your life. And so if you have like, your creativity and your sphere of creativity and your sphere of culture, for example, for me, where like those were two of the things that I had marked, self-assessed myself as like a little bit lower on. So it brings
Mhm.
me into my action triangle, which is like, okay, these are the ones we're going to look at the pathways between and look at those spheres closer. And you can contemplate those over the course of the next, 3 months or whatever, and see how you can kind of invoke that into your life in a way that you're going to like clear some of these shadows and clear these pathways for you. So it shows me my shadow of mediocrity in culture, so in groups or whatever, like the shadow of being just plain average mediocre, not being special, not being unique. And then my shadow of self-obsession
Mm.
in the one with the creativity. And
Mhm.
so these ones like really show how I'm blocking my own creativity and I'm also blocking my way of creatively coming into more of a community setting because I'm so worried about being average, being mediocre, that I'm diving into myself to try and find how special I am. But in doing
Oh,
that, I'm isolating myself from
yeah.
groups and the community. And so it's
Yeah.
like, boom, like
Yeah.
immediately, there's something that you can work on. There's something that you can take action on. There's something that you can just think about more. There's whatever.
Yeah.
And it's wild because the last time that we recorded, I sent you a message afterwards and I was like, I just felt like something was a bit off. Like I'm like, I just like wanted to tell you about it because it hit me in the like, and this is how I am with you. Like it's like if something comes up, like I'm not like ruminating on it and like, oh no, like blah, blah, like I'm gonna, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm thinking about this, so I'm gonna share this because
Yeah.
maybe KK has a different view on it, or maybe she didn't notice it like at all, and so it's just me. And like I sent it to you and you were like, oh, okay, like I didn't really, I didn't really notice it, but like thank you for bringing that to me and whatever, and we can
Yeah.
definitely like look at that. But it was really like me feeling like we weren't like kind of gelling conversationally, but that
Mhm.
was because I was like in another one of my shadows. And after
Oh.
not recording for so long, like I felt like I had things I was supposed to say, or like I have to have something important to say, or I have to whatever. And so there were times where I was like listening and listening, but like, oh yeah, I can jump in here and share this thing that, I did. Like this is a good spot for that. And then there wouldn't kind of be the spot for that. I'm like, okay, dang. But then I'm listening to respond instead of listening to just listen, to just be here, to listen with your heart, like with your whole heart, and just like hear what the person is saying, which is how I always am, like in these things. Like,
You
and
are.
and I've made, I made that an important thing for me to like focus on because of past, podcast with another person and whatever that like I did not
Mhm.
enjoy and did not go. And I was like, you know what, like I'm always just going to come into this, like it doesn't matter what I have to say, it doesn't matter if I say anything by the end of it, as long as I'm here and I'm listening and I'm present. And
Yeah.
so the reason I felt last time like it wasn't gelling was like because I was not listening the way that I usually listen. So it felt off to me. It felt like I was, offering my own resistance, right? And it's like at the
Interesting.
end of the
Yeah.
day, we both said tons of great things. Like it was a great conversation. I re-listened to it and I was like, yeah, that was totally just me playing out that shadow prior to having it show up for me in the gene keys where I could understand it. Because the
So
other one that's a brand new gene key for me is number 13. And that one is all about
oh, 13.
empathy and what is the discord. Discord is the um,
Oh,
shadow. And the shadow of
okay.
discord is when you're listening to respond, to get your words and whatever, not listening openly with your heart, just to listen, to hear. And when
Mm.
we listen to the world that way, like you're like that's a gift for me, and that's something that's been coming up for years now, is like just listen. You're in your stage of just listening, and obviously in a
Yeah.
podcast you can't always just listen.
Right.
You gotta have a conversation is what we want to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was that I was noticing in myself I feel off
Mm.
because I was not listening the way that I typically
Totally.
would listen. I thought I had to get all, I had to say something important. I had to, be of value to the podcast. I had to make sure I got that whatever in there. And in doing
Yeah.
that, I was focusing on the wrong things. And
Yeah.
so,
That's
yeah,
fascinating.
gene keys
The
are
gene
amazing like that.
I was I was literally about to say gene keys sound amazing. Yeah, I actually really want to. I feel like it could be a whole series or whatever at some point if you wanted, but like just I always love hearing you talk about this stuff because I don't study it myself, and so if you ever wanted to do a whole little thing of like going into the Venus sequence and the this and that and like the whatever. I feel like you have a really awesome way of talking about it and teaching about it because like you've integrated it for yourself or you are and you've done a lot of work on it and stuff and like I don't know. These are the tools, the astrology, human design, gene keys, anything else you're I Ching, whatever you're studying. It's like
Yeah.
this is all really these are really important tools and it's like it just helps you find the stuff that's like inside anyway. Like we always
Yeah.
know that every answer is inside of you, blah blah blah. But like because we've been cut off from that for so long, all of these systems feel so useful in giving us the permission slips to be ourselves
Permission
and then we
slips.
don't
Exactly.
really need them anymore. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like once you reach a certain point, you're just like, oh, I just am, like, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe I do know about my gene keys or whatever, but it's like, I know myself enough that it's like, I can see my shadows, I can see the gifts, I can see, all that stuff, and you just kind of don't need it. But like, I find it so fascinating because I don't know, the Mercury ruled part of me and the Aquarius placements, I'm just like, oh, I just want all the info, I want all the details, tell me everything because
Yeah.
it's really fun for me. But then I can go too far into that, like my little rabbit holes where I'm just like, I feel like I have to go into a rabbit hole about something because like that's what I do. And if I haven't done it for a while,
Hmm.
it's like, but and so I go into things that I might not need. I distract myself or I like waste my own time doing it. It's never a waste of time, but you know what I mean? It's just like, oh God. And so sometimes I need to just back off from learning anything at all because it's like, integrate what the fuck you just studied or,
Right.
calm
Yeah.
down. You do not have to take a class just to take a class because whatever. So yeah, see,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
love
well, and
hearing.
there's not always something to fix, right? And it's like that's
Yes.
kind of our feeling, is like we always have to be fixing something. We always have to be, light workers. We always gotta be light working, like it's just, yeah, at some point it's like that's part of that gene key 10, is just like it's the end of seeking. If you understand that gene key to its core, like you're just done looking. There's nothing else
Mhm.
to look for. There's
Yeah.
nothing else to seek. You're just you, right? And that's like that's kind of the idea of all of it, like you were saying, of all of the different modalities or
Mhm.
kind of lenses into the self is like,
Yeah.
yes, to give you like these permission slips, you said it so well, for all these things that you've been experiencing so far in life that like you felt like you were wrong for or different for or weird for or too much for or whatever it is. And it's like, no, like you're just like that. This is why. Like this is why this, and it's so useful that way because it allows you to get on that path of forgiving yourself for, for all those times you were hard on yourself, for treating yourself that way, for talking to yourself that way, for, for condemning yourself basically in these areas where it's like, no, like that's just part of you and your
Part of
journey
me.
and your evolution. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, they're all amazing. And Gene Keys specifically for me, because like everyone has their own one that like really, stands out to them or kind of gives, those gems maybe more often or whatever. And that's perfect. But I just, it really invokes it into my life. And I really do think it is that way for anyone who kind of like
Yeah.
enters into it. It's kind of like as soon as you, decide that you're going to do that, it's gonna happen in your life. And if you're a person like me where it has to like play out before you get the confirmation of it, because that's how you've chosen to like have that experience. It's like I want to live it and then have read about it and be like, oh, I already did that. Cool. Like I
Yeah.
totally understand that now because that just happened. Like it will
Yeah.
do that for you. And it's just it always I know that and I've done them so many times, but it just always amazes me like how it happens because you don't that's why this life is kind of like cool because like yeah we know all the things that are happening and why they're happening and blah blah blah, like at a certain point you kind of lose that extra magical, everything's magical because everything is magical and you're used to it, but like then things like that happen and you're like but it's still it's still going to surprise me. I could know all the things that I think I need to know or whatever and it's still going to find ways to surprise me about myself or surprise
Always.
me
Yeah.
about life or surprise me about so you never get to a place where the magic doesn't find a way to make itself known and be magical again, which
Yeah.
is, it's pretty cool.
It's totally awesome because it just goes deeper and deeper. And I think tying it back to something that we were talking about on our last stream where I was like kicking the door in, like I'm always afraid.
Hmm.
Well, in the past, I've been afraid, like, oh, if I have a good idea, I need to hold back and not give the whole idea because what if I don't have another good idea? And so I'll just,
Right.
whatever. But so creatively now, it's like you just go all in. And so when I've been thinking about like going deeper and like, okay, well, how, if I already know shit, like, how are they going to surprise me? They being myself or whatever. It's like, but it always does. And it's just so nice to know you can always go deeper. You can always go higher. You can always go like, there's never, you can't squeeze everything out of it's like that's what isness is. The is I don't know, it's like we're constantly figuring out like new layers of what it is to exist. And like I don't know, it's kind of comforting in a lot of ways because I've been going through some of these emotional lows where I'm like, what the fuck is the point? I
Yeah,
don't want
for
to exist
sure.
anymore. It's too much. Like, because
Yeah.
honestly, dying, physical death doesn't scare me, but like fucking eternal soul life, I'm like, I don't
Right.
want what? So I freak out. I'm like, no. But then I come back into being like, oh, that's right. Because there's always new shit. Like if you're hungry for information, you're gonna find it. You're gonna have new experiences. And sometimes you just need that boredom moment to sort of clear everything out. And then you can kind of it's just all part of the cycles or whatever. So I've been working a lot with the boredom slash like fear of having to exist forever.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Boredom as a
that's part of
catalyst.
it. Yeah, it's just all part of it. So I don't know, it's a lot of exploration, but I also kind of feel
Yeah.
like you were saying about you could just be, and I feel like that's the energy right now that I'm sort of still struggling against a little bit because I'm like, wait, I gotta do, all the things. It's like you
Hmm.
can actually continue to rest because I feel, and I'm probably all of us, like I feel like we've been just kind of I've been resting so much or like not doing so much. And it's like when I continue to get the messages about it's okay to rest, keep resting. I'm like, but I've been doing that. When do I do, and I'm still kind of doing some a little bit, but it also kind of feels like there's this time period where like there's periods of like energy bursts and like I do things or whatever, and then it's back into being like, no, you're just gonna hermit again for like a really long time, or whatever. And that's kind of where I'm back into right now, because like even though I have the news about the farm thing and you got to do the application, like whatever, it still just kind of feels like I'm chilling for a while. Like the rest of
Yeah.
not the whole rest of this year is going to be like this. I just mean like what feels like is happening is like for the next little while the collective goes through, or the next wave of shit kind of comes through for people. I just get to exist for a while, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, things might come up, maybe I clear some more things where I'm not going to look for this shit. It's going to find me and I'm not going to go digging for it. But anything I
Right.
need to clear, I will. Otherwise, you get to just chill for a while. And then it feels like something in the fall sort of shifts where, I don't know, one of my other friends is starting a new job in the fall, or like something is going to be happening. So I feel like new twists and turns are kind of coming. And we haven't even talked about July with the Uranus going into Gemini on 7/7 portal, and like so all these, like,
Ooh.
I feel like big shifts are also kind of coming in July too. But
And I've
you
been seeing 7/7s so much over the last, like, just today and yesterday. Like, I swear, like, every license plate that I saw in a row was like seven. I don't, it was wild. And then I was like, I go into the grocery store, it was 7706. And I was like, that's interesting. Like one off from seven. And then that grocery
Mhm.
store is right next to an address that's 7777, like whatever that street is. And I was just like, okay, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot
A
of
lot of
sevens right now.
sevens.
Like,
I've started new jobs in July before. I started my awakening in July of 2020. Like there's July definitely has cyclically been shown up for me as like new things. July and
yeah,
September. I don't know. It'll
that
be
makes
interesting.
sense.
But it definitely feels pretty electric, and like, it might be scary looking to people who don't know what's kind of going on, but like I think all these changes, it just feels really good. So even if it feels like a little bit rocky at times, I'm still just like, I finally feel safe. That's the thing I wanted to say about it, like where no matter what I hear outside of me, like what's happening in the collective, whatever, I still feel so safe, and not removed, like I'm not part of the collective, but removed in a way of like, I have created my existence, my bubble, my energy field feels so safe that I know no
Mm,
matter where I'm going, I am safe. And so even though I still experience fear and anxiety and stuff like that, it's a whole lot different. And I don't really even know if I can describe it, but like I don't feel the anxiety and the fear in the same way, which is, again, I'm not sure. It's like it's a bit muted, but not muted. It's just not as visceral. I don't know. But
that's
I
good.
do, it feels really nice to have finally found some more internal safety where it's just like, it doesn't matter what happens outside. I know I'm going to be okay. So, and we are going to be okay, because, we're just playing out some crazy shit right
Yeah, and I mean, it's true. Like, there's when you look out in the world right now, and like, especially in America,
now. Hmm.
where you are, like,
Yeah.
it's so easy to get sucked into the storyline and the distractions. And like, obviously, for the people that are in those areas or who that applies to, it's a very real reality. But for those of us who are not in the midst of it, or not, close enough to areas where that makes a big difference for us, whatever, to
Hmm.
go or to show up. It's like we're not, or we don't
Yeah.
just feel that we're meant to be the boots on the ground part of
Right.
the revolution, which, not everyone is, right? Like
Nope.
there's those of us who are the cleanup and rebuilding crew.
Hmm.
And, I'm hello rebuilding crew. Like I am,
Yep.
I'm not even like cleanup. I'm like, okay, call me when that's out. I'm gonna help you build the new world after I
Yeah.
have the vision. I'll just hold the vision until then. But it's
Exactly.
really it's tricky to, because we're still cycling through so much collective trauma and grief,
Yeah.
and
Oof.
that's just going through our systems. And so with like the purging and everything that we've been feeling and whatever,
Yeah.
that that's energies on a collective level. Like when we have been able to find this level of safety and stability in ourselves and in our world and our bubble, that's when we are in such a good place to be flushing through all of that for those who
Yeah.
are not, who are moving. Like we're the, we're the home central point that is safe and whatever. And so we have this land, both of us, have these spaces where we have all of this nature and beauty and like fertility around us, and all of that is helping us to,
Mhm.
transmute and ground down and flush out like all of that collective
Yeah.
trauma and everything that's going on. And so it's
Yeah.
just so important not to also get, caught up in it if you can help it, and so like I'm really glad to hear that you're feeling that safety, because like I really do feel like that is where we're doing the most work right now. Like,
Yeah.
those of us who are not the boots on the ground wave of this revolution, like, we are meant to be here feeling safe, flushing that through and creating and holding that vision, for what is to come after all of this,
Absolutely.
because it won't be a tire fire forever. And it might feel like forever for the people that are really in the midst of it and in fear every day. And for, like, it's just that my heart, like I cannot focus on it more than a certain amount, because I
Yeah.
will be in devastation every day for the families, for the children, for the absolute horrors that are going on.
Mhm.
And
It's
so
pretty gnarly.
yeah, like
Pretty gnarly.
you have to, like you have to know yourself, and yes, allow yourself to feel things for it, like let it out, whatever, but also know when you just have to distance yourself from that
Absolutely.
news. It's like we just weren't made to know everybody's news all the time. We weren't made as humans to like have all of this information right there, like to see firsthand accounts of, what
Yeah.
people are going through, and they're crying and they're like,
Yeah.
you can't, your heart will break constantly. And if your heart is broken constantly and you're in that state, you're not able to hold that safe space. And so like it sounds bad to say, but like then you're really no good. Like, like it's like you want to help, you want to whatever, then like
Yeah.
hold your stability, hold your safety, hold that in gratitude, like be there with that, be present in that, and then, allow that to flow through you. Do
Yeah.
not feel the need to claim it, obviously, as it's coming through. Like you're gonna feel all the things, but just, hold your safety in your space and let that flow through, and don't don't look at the news if it's gonna take you out of that vibration that you need to be in to feel safe, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of our job too right now is to remind people that it's okay to live in joy. It doesn't make
Yeah,
you a person to have fun, to, to rest and to not pay attention to the news or, whatever. It really does not make you a bad person. And we've been
exactly.
conditioned as a society to think that like we have to keep up on things, or like why would you not want to know what the collective is doing? And it's like the energy right now with Saturn and Neptune in Aries really feels like a redirection for people into being like, I have to take care of myself, or I literally cannot show up in the way that I want to for other people. And we hear that message over and over, like, put your own oxygen mask on first, blah, blah, blah. But I think
Yeah,
we're integrating that for reals now. It's like a whole new level of like, oh, you know it in your, in your mental concept, but now you're going to understand and go for that. And like the radical selfishness of like, no, I mean, you're not going to tell me I'm a bad person because like I can't watch the news every day. It's like you're fucking not. Like, so I really enjoy the
yeah,
fact that we are both in a position to be able to keep saying that because, and I know we addressed it in like one of our other streams where it was like, once your dream life comes, it's like, are you going to reject it because your nervous system will get overwhelmed with like too much happiness? And it sounds ridiculous, but it's like we're seeing that, in real time, and we were both kind of experiencing it where it was like, how are we allowed to be this happy? Are we allowed to be like doing nothing? Like it's
right.
that
The
was how I was.
survivor's guilt.
Yeah, survivors. And that's the thing. That's how you get more survivors is by sinking in and wallowing in joy. Because we've been wallowing in misery for so long, and that was fine. But now we're not. It's like, okay, we did that already. We need to, and so and it's gonna come in waves. If we all woke up at the same time, it would just be it wouldn't work. We have to go through waves. So there are going to be people still, that's the titration off of the misery timeline moving into the bliss timeline. It's like
Mm.
somebody's fucking got to go first, like you got to just kind of move over there. And
I mean, it makes me think of when they used to go between caves, like something would happen at their cave and rocks fall and they can't use that cave anymore. Like, or just hunter-gatherer kind of like traveling to a new home. They would always like keep their flame, and they always had like someone in the group that had to hold that flame in the, oryx horn or in the whatever, like, and that they were a very important part of the group because like that was home, like that flame is home. And like right now in society, like there has to be those of us who are holding that flame, who are holding the flame, who are holding the hearth, because like what is there to fight for? What is there to come back home to if not the hearth, if not the mother,
that's
if not the home? Like that
beautiful.
has to be there.
Wow. Yeah, that feels very Jupiter Kazemi in Cancer, where it's like the home, I was like, and that's absolutely, and I go back to one of the things that I did in college. I was applying for some, like a mentor program, like to be a mentor to the incoming freshman class or whatever. And one of the questions was like, if there was a natural disaster and every building on campus got destroyed, which one would you save? Or, like what do you think? Or I don't know, something like that. And I said the music school, and I was like, I was a music major. So like, I was like, okay, I know I sound biased because I'm a music major, but let me explain. And it's kind of like what you were saying, like somebody's got to keep the flame. Somebody, like these are all important things. And I was like, when you think about music, like, yes, we obviously want to save the medical school or whatever, but like if you don't have music, think it's like sorcery. You can find a frequency for anything. Like music, well, I didn't know this at the time, but like music literally can heal you. Like vibrationally, we can kill cancer cells with sound and like all kinds of shit right now. But anyway, but my point was, I was like, even in wartime or any of that stuff, like the military bands are important, and it's not like they're being made fun of because they're not fighting. They're like thank God, because we need the rhythms,
They
or
keep
like
the rhythm.
yeah,
Exactly. Like keeping the rhythm going,
yeah.
like the heartbeat, the pulse,
Mhm.
keeping the pulse going of the planet. That is music. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why creation is so important, because any art you put out there, and I keep going back to like even memes, which I put that in quotation. Like I think memes are incredibly important. I think there's just like a magical space to be in, but people tend to look down on content creators who just do memes or whatever it is. I'm like, that is helping all of us just like lift us
Yeah.
out of the thing. And art, what's the word? It sort of directs how society is, because if we program society with uplifting art, we're going to have an uplifted society. If we're programming it with like doom and gloom or military propaganda or whatever, where that's a society we're kind of like, anything you can do to sort of turn the boat around, which is why I was lying in bed last night just like completely in awe at how many good ideas I keep having, because I'm not used to that, because I have never been in a relaxed state enough to get those ideas. Or I've always been comparing myself to like, well, I don't have ideas like that, so I must not have good ideas, or whatever. And it's like,
Well, and you're also kind of like in the story of like, oh no, I had a good idea. That's my last good idea ever. And
yeah,
so like getting out of that story and being like, no, no, that's not my story anymore. Like I'm gonna have a bunch of good ideas. Well,
yeah.
that's your story now. You're gonna have good ideas
And
flowing out the wazoo. Yeah.
everyone is like as good or better, like, and it's just, you can only grow. And like part of that, I think, is also my fifth line experience of like managing other people's expectations, because I can either be villainized or pedestalized, and I'm always like, oh God, if I do too good right now, people are gonna I'm gonna fall off the pedestal and be
Keep
like, oh,
expecting that of me, and then I'm gonna fail them, and then yeah.
So it's like, well, it doesn't, first of all, that's not going to happen. Like, you're going to have new ideas or whatever. But like, even if you don't have a good idea or whatever, it's like, then you don't do anything if you don't have the good idea. When you have the idea, that was where I was struggling, was like, well, I have to do it on a schedule or whatever. It's like, no, it comes when it comes. That's how the creation flow is. And then the more relaxed you are, it's like, oh, the more often it comes. So I don't know. I'm just like in this whole state of like, it's okay now to live in joy and stuff. And I still struggle. Like I still have anxiety and stuff because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people, a bunch of people I care about that are not in that space. And it's not compartmentalizing in an unhealthy way, but like it is sort of that whole thing where you're putting your own oxygen mask on, where it's like, I
Yeah.
have to remind myself their soul chose these experiences and no one else was judging me for the experiences I needed to go through. So let me just allow that, but it's hard when you have empathy because like but anyway, my point, yeah, I think it's really nice that we're both kind of on that path of like reminding people to just have fun and like, and it's okay. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I like where I am, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, and it kind of goes along with what we were saying last time with like the writing your own story and everything. It's like what I was thinking when you were talking was like, yeah, we love to like typecast ourselves into an experience, like pigeonhole ourselves in the story. Like we're the person on the sitcom who had the good idea the first day, and so now you're
Yeah.
the idea guy. And okay, idea guy, where's your idea? It's like that's like a funny, sitcom whatever thing that they do, but like that's not reality. Like we don't truly, typecast our friend as like, oh, you had a funny joke that time, so now you're the joke guy. Like, come on, give me a joke guy. Like, it's not, it's not really like that. It doesn't need to be like that. But
Yeah.
our minds kind of like do that. We like almost like want to like typecast ourselves, and especially if it's something that's like a good thing, perceived like,
Yeah.
oh, I wanted to have a good idea, so I want to be, the idea guy. But it's like, no, you don't. You want to be able to shift and mold and form through, whatever some days you want to be the hiding in the cave guy, and some days you want to be the
Yeah.
like, look at me, I'm the center of attention guy, and some days you want to be the wacky hat guy. And so, like it just you just like every single day, kind of letting
Yeah.
yourself, yeah, you can typecast yourself for a day and then just
Yeah.
make that the limit to it. Today I'm this. And so you'll have that idea or you'll wear that hat. And then the next day,
Wear something else.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You don't have to typecast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it's pretty flowy. Like what you were talking about. You just like, you can be different people, so many different people throughout the course of a day at this point.
Right.
You just
Yeah.
have no
Like
idea.
different groups of people, different, like, yeah, this is a super religious community. I'm going to be, whatever. This is, these people are more funny and loose and whatever. And then, yeah, like
Yeah.
just you can be, and it doesn't mean that you're not, a consistent person or that you're faking it or whatever with whoever. Like, if you're choosing to hang out with those people, you're not doing that in a fake way where you're like, oh, I hate these people, but I'm going to go. Like, if you enjoy being around them to an extent or whatever, like, there's just parts of you're so multifaceted that there's just parts of you that are going to come out for each situation. And that's not, yeah, that's not being inconsistent or a people pleaser at a certain stage. Like, if you've healed through that and you can recognize in yourself, okay, I'm not doing this being this way just because it makes it easier in this situation, just because I want them to like me. I'm
Right.
this way because this is what version of me
Who I
these
am.
people bring out. Yeah, like this
Mhm.
is just like when I'm with these people, that's the part of me that wants to come out. Like I want to dance, I want to whatever. And so as
Yeah.
long as you've, like done some of that shadow work on yourself and you're not like feeling anxiety in these situations like, oh, I have to be this
Yes.
version of me or else they won't like me. Like that's obviously a very different thing we're talking about. But like, yeah, if it just feels natural in every situation to flow through and you're like you can be 20 different people in a day,
Yeah.
whatever. Might get a little
Whatever you want.
tiring after a while, but it's like I don't know how many people like I just am thinking about myself and how like little actual social battery I have for anything, but other people have more of that. And yeah,
Yeah.
as many as you need to see different people, you could be that many different yous.
Abso-fucking-lutely, I know. And one other thing I wanted to say about the whole, like, holding different roles in the revolution, it's like, we can see the future and we know we're headed into something amazing, but, like, that doesn't mean we do nothing. So
Right.
we do have to take the actions, to get there and stuff. So even
Yeah.
though this golden timeline is guaranteed, like, we still do need to play out the shadow stuff, and like people need to do the fighting and the thing, or whatever it is they need to
Yeah.
do. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it is guaranteed, but we do need to take the actions. Just like my farm stuff, it's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
for me, but I have to apply and do, you know, whatever. So taking the steps. And I think that's where I was maybe getting a
Exactly.
little caught up in the shadow side of that, where I was like, oh, but I see everything. And I feel like I wasn't explaining it to people because I didn't really understand the taking actions. Cause like when I'm talking to my friends and stuff who are more like in the scientific materialism and stuff, and they're like, I keep telling them, I'm like, I know we're in this, it's gonna be fine. But then everyone else is like, but like, it doesn't look like it's gonna be fine. I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. And it's like, oh, that's right. We need the action steps, but it is a guaranteed outcome. And so I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of exciting to kind of have words for that. But
Absolutely. Yeah. Like just because some of us aren't the ones boots on the ground doesn't mean boots on the ground doesn't have to happen. Like
we
if
gotta
you don't
have it.
have the
Yeah.
crumble of all these systems and whatever, it doesn't just happen, like naturally and they just go away in the night without, some resistance. There's
Gotta do it.
obviously those who are having to do the fighting. There are those
Yeah.
who unfortunately are in it for that. And yeah, like
Yeah.
it's got to happen. It's part of the whole
Yeah.
decomposition process, and it's like it sucks.
Um,
It sucks that there's that part of it, but like yeah, I mean even from the outskirts or the sidelines or whatever you want to call it to that, there's
yeah.
all different kinds of things that we're doing, taking action steps on, weaving in there so that there is that net afterwards that kind of catches society after, everything else falls kind of through the cracks, so to speak. Like we're
Yeah.
kind of there weaving that, that new game board that will kind of be there to catch that. And so
Yeah.
it's a million it's more like a million little things, a million little stitches as opposed to the
Ooh,
big
yeah.
outward, like it's the divestment, of attention, of energy, of money
Yeah.
from the big companies, from the, things that you don't agree with anymore, from the like climate change friendly, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's like all the pennies, the dollars that you don't put into that anymore. Like it's a lot of not it's not doing instead of doing, but it still takes action to not do that.
To not
It
do
still
it. Yep.
takes action to go to your local whatever store as often as you can and paying cash instead of going to put all your money in the bank and invest with the bank and go to the big conglomerate store. It's like, and like, and you do as much of it as you can because then there's still things that's like you live in a small town. Well, they don't really have a lot of small businesses anymore that survive because that's just how it's gone. So you have to go to the big store, you have to go to the whatever. And so you just do your best to then buy Canadian or buy American or whatever, like whatever feels right to you where
Mm-hmm.
you are in the world. But it's like, it's all of us doing those little things that we can do, but it is still doing things.
Yeah.
Even if it's taking things
Absolutely.
away from whatever, it still requires thought, action, follow through on our
Mm-hmm.
part. And then obviously, as much as we've talked about the self-obsession aspect of it today, like that part of it is still so valuable. Like you still do have to do the work on yourself, clear your own pathways, clear your own channels, allow that flow to be open where you are so that you can be that redistribution center of abundance, that redistribution center of energy, that transmuter of that pain and that trauma. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of action in there still that is
Yeah.
it's beneficial to the whole, and isn't just selfishly only on yourself. It's just no, for me it's just for me that was more knowing the difference between
Yeah.
when I'm too far down or I've been down the rabbit hole too long and it's time to like, okay, you've seeked all
Oh,
you could stop for now, get the heck out of there, like come back, help everybody out.
yeah.
And but yeah, yeah, you're
100%.
absolutely right. It's there's still action.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
why I feel like more people are gonna like, however many listeners we have now or whatever. And I was talking to you earlier about like, oh, so many people should be listening to us. And I think that is part of the whole coming out of the hermit cave and all stuff. It's like energetically,
You
we're
open
now finally
yourself up to a bigger
a
audience too. Yeah,
bigger audience for sure. Because I
absolutely.
love our podcast, and I'm like, everybody
I
should
mean, I
listen
know
to.
we're a little biased, but me too. I love us.
We're pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Just saying.
Just saying, yeah,
Aw. Does that feel like a good note to wrap it on today? Just giving
yeah.
ourselves
Little
a
pat
little
on the back.
little pep talk, a little pat on the back. We're doing
We're
great,
vibing.
honey.
We
Sweetie.
really are. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important too. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, ending on the note of celebrating your wins and celebrating
Absolutely.
how awesome you are in general. Like, I think that
Yeah.
that is, I fucking love that people are starting to do that more often
Yeah.
and to like say, oh, I did a really good job on this or whatever. I'm like, fuck yes, let's celebrate those things. So yeah,
Mhm.
we're pretty fucking awesome. I love
And
us.
you are too.
And you are
Boop.
too.
I just booped you on the nose right there. Well, boop on the nose and a forehead kiss, and off you go.
Oh my God. Love you.
Love you.
See you
Talk to you
later.
next time, folks.